We all add and participate in society, into and for society. Welcome to class, everybody. Hey, back? Yeah. Now that we're settled in. Get the marker, old marker-y-do. Got these at Office Depot today. Today we're gonna talk about memes. Who knows anything about memes? Yeah? Okay.
Light and breezy.
Well, that's cool. Great job. What got me thinking about memes? What got me thinking about the sort of curriculum for today? Back in September, the 23rd of September of 2021, Congressperson Marjorie Taylor Greene brought a meme onto the House floor. She actually brought two, I believe. We'll show that on the projector. Okay, is it up there? I'm being told it's on the projector. Being the first person to be so stupid as to bring a meme before Congress. But that really got me thinking about the power of memes, the power of the way we communicate in the modern era. The meme we're gonna be talking about today, this is a meme. I call it, Are You Winning, Sisyphus? What's interesting about memes, to me, is that we can read them in an instant. Even that image of Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you follow US politics, you know who she is, you understand what Scooby-Doo is, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to be diving into that image, but basically you knew how to read it, right? Same thing applies to every meme, really. There's influences that you have carried with you for your entire life that lead you up to the moment where you see this meme. And now, you might not understand it right now. That's what we're going to get to the bottom of today. We're going to explain this meme, how memes can be affected by even the most historical influences, or just the more mundane, everyday things that we take for granted when we translate this meme in our minds. Okay, but first we're going to talk about the sort of cultural aspects of memes, and CJ the X has a really good video about this where they dissect several memes in a sort of critically analytical way. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm focusing on just the one meme, so I'm not plagiarizing. Okay, I was a little syllabus joke. Just even before analyzing this meme in particular, memes as a whole. The term meme comes from Mimetics, which was coined by Richard Dawkins, who is a evolutionary biologist, and that sort of speaks to the viral nature of memes and how they change and grow over time in response to external stimulus. When we talk about memes, obviously the first thing that we think of is like humor, like a funny meme, right? Or something as simple as just a tweet, which is just text, right? And text gets into language, gets into writing, into geography, culture, everything. And we're going to try and tiptoe into that a little bit. Obviously, know that language informs our memes, right? So English speakers read from left to right. That's how you read the word memes. You go M-E-M-E-S, left to right. Same goes with this image. You start with the "Are you winning, son?" and move to the right. So write this down. We got a quote about humor, right? So humor, of course, is subject. I'll read the definition and then we can talk about it if you're still confused. People of all ages and cultures respond to humor. Most people are able to experience humor, be amused, smile, or laugh at something funny, such as a pun or a joke, and thus are considered to have a sense of humor. The hypothetical person lacking a sense of humor would likely find the behavior inducing it to be inexplicable, strange, or even irrational. That not only applies to humor on the whole, but memes. You have your personal favorite memes. Sometimes you make memes for your friends, right? Like your friend groups have like friend group specific memes. And if you were to show them to somebody else, it might not make any sense. It might be, what was it? Who wrote it down? Inexplicable, strange, or even irrational. What interests me is how our brains process the information that we sift through when we see a meme that we understand and recognize. Mimetics sees ideas as a kind of virus, sometimes propagating in spite of truth and logic, in spite of truth and logic. Its maxim is, beliefs that survive aren't necessarily true. Rules that survive aren't necessarily fair, and rituals that survive aren't necessarily necessary. Things that survive do so because they are good at surviving. So that sort of gets us into philosophical territory, right? Where it's not necessarily about logic or truth or something being inherently good. Ayn Rand gets us into the realm of objectivism because Ayn Rand was very particular. This idea of the morality of rational self-interest. So she had opinions on how everyone should be behaving, how everyone should act, and would get rather upset with even students who disagreed with her personal outlooks. Then you got my man Giles.
Giles Deleuze.
This daddy-looking sumbitch is sort of the polar opposite of Ayn Rand. He had more of a personal viewpoint of not everything has an explanation. So if she is X is X and Y is Y, X isn't Y, he is, okay, but like, are X and Y even on the same plane of existence? Are they even comparable in the first place? Is it fair to sort of try and compare the incomparable? And is it fair to even try to explain something as abstract as X and Y? Is it a reasonable and rational thing to do to try and find an explanation for everything? Whereas Ayn Rand firmly believed that everything had an explanation. Oh, hey. Yo, what's up? So you're wondering how Ayn Rand and Giles relate to the topic at hand, right? The crux of why I talked about them is because everyone who observes a meme, of course including the titular relevant meme, everyone has a perspective that lies on that spectrum from Ayn Rand to Giles. Of course, they're probably not the most like extreme of either end, but I think they're good sort of tentpole representations. And I also don't think I really addressed the core conceit of this video in the first place. I've trimmed it down a fair amount, actually, if you'd believe it, but the main premise was that I would discuss this meme in every facet that influenced it until basically like the dawn of time. I cut out a lot of like truly basic stuff because it felt a bit like absurd to really try and cover it all. But the philosophical stuff, and I know that not everyone is privy to knowledge on those topics, so I figured it would be relevant to cover things like that and not literally everything, just in case I want to make something in the future of the same format. I don't think it's going to be appropriate to just cover fundamental basics of life in every video. I hope that answered your question, by the way. If you can't tell, we're going to be going deep on several things that you might think that we don't need to go deep on. But think about memes. When I look at memes, my brain knows this already. My brain has already processed this information, and it just sits there, waiting to influence my decisions, waiting to influence my perceptions and my general worldview. So a great example of a meme that requires no words, that requires no context, okay? Dat boy, he's just a funny frog on a unicycle. Can you get into the history of him? Yes. Are there words that can go with this funny man? Yes. Do they matter? In some contexts. We have a little timeline here, right? One cannot underestimate the importance of understanding meme context and therefore other memes. I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob when I was a kid. My parents didn't like it for whatever reason. They thought it was inappropriate. Who cares? You would think. But I care a lot. because a lot of memes are based off of SpongeBob, are based off of this funny yellow man. And I don't understand a lot of them because I wasn't there to receive the context in the first place, so I don't get to participate in this sort of shared activity. Top text, bottom text memes were some of the first that I was probably exposed to. You got like Willy Wonka, where he's sitting like that. Can I Has Cheeseburger? The Pedo Bear in 2010. You got Harambe dying in 2016. Arthur's Fist, same year. Drake memes, you know? There's a SpongeBob meme, the SpongeBob Revolution in like 2017, 2018. We started to get into the absurdist territory where we got Hot Pockets filled with... Memes are weird, but these all build upon one another because time passes. Time is a flat circle that we're all trapped in. It is the final circle of hell, time, where we realize that no matter what happens, when we die, we're just stuck here. Our particles, our atoms just disperse. And then maybe one day they'll just come together in the exact same order because we have an eternity to wait. Trillions of years down the line, all your atoms reconvene to make you, for the briefest moment, you view the nebula, you view cosmos, and you see the infinite galaxies and infinite nothing. And then you're gone again. So, and what that just was a deep fried meme. Becomes overly saturated, and the noise becomes amplified to a frightening degree, to the point where you can't really understand anymore, and it's just noise. Anyway, this is not the original meme. This is a variant. Talking about memes basically being viruses earlier, this is a variant, okay? Coronavirus joke for the kids. The original meme is a little bit more saucy. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, that boy, look at him go. I need some tea. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. This is so cumbersome. Look at this. That's not the original meme. This is the original meme. Circa 2014. Here's what's interesting about this meme. Because obviously memes like viruses, they don't stay in one state for any significant period of time. Otherwise they become stale, they become irrelevant. What's that? Is that somebody's cock? Gross. He is the sun here, the sun in question, again left to right, right? So we got the what appears to be a father figure walking in. Are you winning, son? And the son is in here playing a big titty hentai VR porn game. He's got a fleshlight for his cock and balls. So I guess we have to talk about hentai. Let me call a friend. Hey, yeah, Mikhail?
Hey there. Looking to figure out more about hentai? Well, first things first, you need to know that hentai means perverse or abnormal sexual desire. It normally gets boiled down to pervert, but same difference. First sort of hentai was around 1984 with Lolita Adventure. Now, there's a couple of different categories that you need to be aware of. Mostly anything that can be anime related and or eroticized, it probably is. You've got, obviously, erotic art, you got erotic games, you got erotic anime. We are all very much aware of that. Ecchi, which is just more category for lewd things. That line between lewd and hentai, that's your things like where you have your anime that, oh look, the chick is taking a shower, she just got out with like the towel on and whatnot, and then it just slips off. And fortunately for the viewers at home, there's just enough steam to block out everything important, and God rays say, nah, none of that lewdness here.
Wait, so is Naruto hentai?
No. They have lewd scenes occasionally. The anime itself can be hentai. Typically, hentai doesn't involve a story plot. Sometimes it can, though. Normally, what ends up happening is fans will go about making a ton of hentai. Rule 34 is kind of the most common one. If you go on that site, normally, maybe about 100, 200 images day one. It's rather impressive, honestly, especially considering a good chunk of them can sometimes be in pretty solid quality.
So, last thing, is this just for like artistic enjoyment, or people, you know,
Oh yeah. It's a little bit of both. Some people do it because, well, it pays the bills. People will throw hundreds of dollars at a lewd image. Just go and look at like body pillows and you'll see exactly what I mean. Other people do it because, haha, I'm a not safe for work artist and I can draw myself fucking your mom. What are you gonna do about it?
Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you for your contribution. A fleshlight is meant to simulate the human vagina. A vagina is typically used for, a multitude of things. It's got a lot of functions: self-cleaning, peeing, for vaginal sex, or having babies. But this is just for fucking. I was wrong. No, that was wrong. No, the conflating the vagina and the vulva is like the oldest fucking mistake that every man makes. I can't believe that I made it on video. So I'd like to formally apologize. Obviously, the vulva is the sort of exterior that you can see. That's what really a fleshlight is trying to depict, is a vulva, but the only usable part is the vaginal cavity. But pee comes from the urethra, which is separate from the vagina. There's two holes. There was a whole Twitter thing about that kind of recently, about there being two holes. Back to the vagina stuff. Go. I'll be back later. What's interesting about this fleshlight that is hooked up to his VR, virtual reality, a computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a seemingly real or physical way by a person using special electronic equipment such as helmet with a screen inside or gloves fitted with sensors. He's playing a video game. I'm sure you've all played a video game, right? You played Solitaire or Mario Party or Mario Kart. This kid's obviously a gamer. And I don't know if he's a gamer with a capital G or a lowercase g. I should explain that. Lowercase g gamer is like me. I play video games, but it's not like my life. I like it a lot though, it's a good hobby. Capital G gamers, gaming is everything to them. They'll defend their favorite video game until they die. They will attack Anita Sarkeesian via Gamergate. I am not smart enough to explain Gamergate, I'm gonna be honest with you. I encourage you to watch this video by Innuendo Studios, because it helped me learn a lot about Gamergate. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm an expert or anything on the topic, but what would lead me to believe that he is a gamer with a capital G is that there's also a 4chan reference in here. If you know what 4chan is, then you know that's a kind of a red flag, because that's where Nazis and shit hang out. And you can see in here it says, "But please play with my breasts, Anon-kun." Anon is what people on 4chan refer to themselves and each other as, because it's an anonymous service, so everyone's Anon. And kun is generally used by people of senior status addressing or referring to those of junior status in Japanese. This is gonna get age-gated so fast. What's also interesting about 4chan is that it's on the internet. Answers from the brightest minds in the modern era and in history, all known knowledge just being stored on the cloud in this sort of intangible space that we can all perceive but not like touch physically. VR is sort of pushing the bounds of that, right? Where you can exist in a space that is comprised of only virtual things. Your life can then become indistinguishable from those things. This ties back to what I was saying earlier. Assuming you're still writing this down, computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a seemingly real way. And what is seemingly real? You got this fella here, looking at this image. This fella is chained to this stone tablet and has lived there for his entire life. All he knows are the images that are shown on this cave wall. So he thinks that this is the world. Well, one day, someone comes in, they're like, "Yo, there's a whole fucking world out here!" He's like, "I've got the whole world right here. What are you talking about? Everything is images. Everything is right here." Why would he think, literally why would he think any differently? So no matter how hard someone insists, "Oh, there's more. There's like textures and smells and life." It's not even that he doesn't want to, he can't conceive wanting to. He can't conceive anything outside of the cave. This is what could be achieved with VR someday. We only perceive what the goggles tell us to perceive, and taking off the goggles isn't even a thought. That's how convenient it could be, how simple it could be to just live through virtual interaction. Not to get dark, sorry, if that's scary to you. I'm sorry, it's kind of scary to me, but it's important that we talk about this kind of a thing. What also scares me, right, and I think scares a lot of people nowadays is, well, not to jump too far ahead, but VR uses electricity. Electricity comes from the grid, which is fed by fossil fuels, which cause global warming, and then there's existential terror. The burning of fossil fuels like natural gas, oil, coal. These create greenhouse gases like CO2 that heat up our atmosphere. Heat waves coming from the sun, instead of like hitting the earth, like hitting the ground and going back up into space and just leaving us with the heat that we need, greenhouse gases keep and trap the heat in with us, little by little, choking us to death and heating up our planet, melting ice caps, and flooding coastal regions. And that's pretty scary. That's happening right now. And that sucks. And there's not a lot we as individuals can do about it because it's mostly in the hands of the ultra wealthy who contribute the majority of investment in fossil fuel burning and greenhouse gas creation. We are just trying to live in a world that uses that to make the things that we need to live. The solution to this is obviously stopping all burning of fossil fuels, switching to renewable resources like solar, wind, geothermal. So there is a solution. It's just nothing major is being done about it. But yeah, existential terror means escapism. Okay, so people when they're scared of their life, scared for their life, of their life, in their life, they resort to escapism. VR is one of the ultimate forms of escapism, video games, stuff like that, where you can literally leave your life to exist somewhere else, to exist in this virtual space. And then escapism sort of translates us to the meme Sisyphus. We did it! We're finally at Sisyphus. Yes, really. Fun fact, to sort of coast us into Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus, exactly the same as the itsy bitsy spider. You know about the itsy bitsy spider?
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
The myth of Sisyphus goes that this crazy motherfucker, Sisyphus, he was rolling around and he was about to head out. He was about to die. And he thought to himself, no, I don't want to die. I like living. I want to live. I want to live. He was like, nah, I'm just not gonna die. I'm bailing. He goes back up to the top side, and Zeus says, who's that? Scoops him up and damns him to an eternal hell. Custom made for Sisyphus, where he gets to toil endlessly, rolling a boulder up a hill, and once he gets to the very top of the hill, the morning comes, and that motherfucker rolls to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. He goes back down, and he rolls back up. That is his entire existence now. Hey, thanks for coming in. So sorry. Yeah, this is actually relevant to what I was going to talk to you about. I didn't cover, like at all, the Greek pantheon or who Zeus is, but Zeus is the god of thunder, in the ancient Greek pantheon of gods. He is, of course, one of many gods in that pantheon, and probably the best representation of those gods, if you're interested, is the Hugo Award-winning video game Hades.
Deal some death.
Now you're wondering what this has to do with the video, and I guess technically it has to do with Greek gods, which connects to Zeus, which connects to the myth of Sisyphus, which connects to the meme. But mostly, I don't have the energy to make a full video essay about Hades, but I really like Hades. Oh, and the soundtrack? Oh my. Shout out to Darren Korb for that soundscape, bro. Alright, get out of my fucking office. But the myth of Sisyphus is just one in a millennia long series of myths and tales. The tradition of storytelling is as old as time itself. It's one of the fundamental things about human nature, that we tell stories, that we try and convey information to our offspring through tales, through memorable stories. That's Camus. He was a philosopher, by the way. Philosophy is like the practice of thinking too much. I do that sometimes. I think it's a symptom of human boredom. We are so bored with just like succeeding at living that we study what it is to be alive in the first place, that we make schools of thought around thinking, around making moral puzzles to stress ourselves out for just no reason. Getting back to the meme, of course, I'm sorry. So what separates this from this? Obviously, we still have the same intro. Reading left to right. Are you winning, son? Are you winning, son? And then a huge shift on the right panel. That's typically how this meme changes. The right panel will shift. Now there are some where the left panel shifts as well. Some wholesome ones where like the son walks in, he's like, "Are you winning, Dad?" And Dad's playing solitaire. It's cute. This is more classical. You change the right panel so you have the basis of the left panel to sort of ease you into a more familiar space. So set up, different punchline. What separates these two and what makes them the same? They're both made in MS Paint. Sort of that style of MS Paint. Okay, one sec. MS Paint was one of the first programs where you could make art on the internet. MS Paint is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft was started by Bill Gates. Bill, we're so disappointed in you. I'm sorry, Bill Gates was the wealthiest man alive. The idea of wealth is also a symptom of capitalism and necessitates the existence of poor people who have no other choice but to be poor for the rest of their life. You know, there's nothing we can do to stop that without fully dismantling capitalism. Beep and beep. These are synergistic. They need each other. So this is the base meme, right? It's Are You Winning, Son? And Sisyphus. It's a good meme. Yeah, correct. I'm explaining the sort of idea, like how complicated our brains are, and how we look at this meme, we can read it instantaneously. Isn't this amazing? This is so great. So this is an ugly image made on MS Paint, but this is obviously made ugly on purpose. Some memes are made ugly on purpose. There's a whole research document I'm going to link to about the internet ugly aesthetic. It's like this door. There's a function in MS Paint where you can just draw a straight line. This man did this on purpose to make this look like shit. Okay. He could have spent hours making this look worse. It captures more of a vibe than it does the actual image of something, which is almost more important, actually. That also gets into the idea of Dada, the art movement Dada, where nothing matters. So people who participated in Dada, they typically played multiple instruments. Even if they didn't know how to play the instruments, they would play them live in front of people. Like they would just bang on the piano because they thought it'd be fun, because it makes their friends laugh. Like that's like the core spirit of Dada. So I misspoke about Dada a little bit. Just a little bit. I wasn't inherently wrong, but the philosophical pursuit of Dada is closer to a rejection of normalcy, a rejection of what is societally agreed upon to be good and proper and like etiquette in every facet of life, in every facet of society, government, and of course art. So it wasn't just about having fun. While that was definitely a key part of it, and I think part of the spirit of Dada was just like, you know, making stuff because you could, making stuff not necessarily because you had some sort of merit or greater purpose, but just because you felt like it. And the guy who taught me about Dada is writing me a letter of recommendation for grad school. So if I got that wrong, I don't feel like I could properly accept that letter. But seriously, now get out. I'm doing stuff. I'm doing stuff. Okay. I'm not gonna be proud of anybody for making this. Okay. If my kid showed me this, I'd be like, that's, you know, good for you. But it does capture a moment. It captures exactly this interaction. And you know what's going on because this dad is just cloying to understand for even the briefest of moments. These two, another thing they have in common, escapism. Escaping reality through virtual reality. Trying so hard to escape death that he is damned to an eternity of rolling a boulder up and down a hill until he rolls the boulder back up the hill. Oh, wow, what does this say? So I wrote, speak extemporaneously about the struggles of the poor sod who fucks a silicone vag, mirrored by the Herculean effort performed by Sisyphus as a form of cope. I don't know if that, cope is usually used as like a derogatory term on the internet, where you can say someone is inhaling a bunch of copium, right? So opium and cope. Opium was traded 500 AD to 1800 AD. Opium was one of the most valuable things to be traded because it's basically like ibuprofen cranked up by 100 and addictive. So people could be in this sort of idea addicted to cope, addicted to the idea of trying to process a difficult world filled with climate change, existential horrors, and this picture of this guy on Time magazine. This is great, isn't it? The vibe is immaculate.
It's really
It's the
good.
most I've ever learned in the past 5 years.
Here's the thing.
Find your YouTube channel. What is it called?
It's called Kolpesh the Yardstick, all one word. I know.
Just using this room.
Ah,
So the big question for all of this is, right, the big question is, why would kids looking at memes identify with both this one and this one? What is going on in the world to cause that sort of identification, trigger the mirror neurons? In this situation, a kid is separated from their father figure in that they have a hobby that the father does not understand, right? That's the premise of this meme, that the father walks in and he doesn't understand the concept of the game, he doesn't understand the culture behind the game, he doesn't understand anything about what the kid is doing. So all he knows to say is, "Are you winning, son?" Like it's a game of damn Pac-Man. This is not Pac-Man. This is a lot more complicated than Pac-Man, Dad. That translates here with the current mental health crisis going on for young adults and teens. Because mental health is plummeting. And poor mental health can lead to derealization, feelings of being eternally trapped, right? Effort and hope was rewarded with punishment and endless toil. In the case of Sisyphus, are we not the same? Are we not in this struggle of endless toiling against something like global warming that we are trapped in despite our efforts to try not to be, as we push this enormous boulder up the hill only to watch it get brought right back down to the bottom? Every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade, progress, collapse. That is what teens, that is what young adults, that is what people who identify with this meme are going through, and they feel that their parents, perhaps their boomer parents, baby boomers were born in the baby boom after World War II. Woohoo, woohoo, everyone went and got busy and started making babies. Baby boomer, looking at their kid, struggling, and all they know, because they don't understand, because they paid $400 a semester to go to college, that they don't understand the struggle that this guy's going through every single day. But, the dad just wants the son to have a nice time, right? Or did I assume something? Gender is becoming understood more and more as a complex and non-binary issue. Gender is more of a social expression, a societal role and presentation than it is a qualifiable trait attributed solely by genitalia. So, dad here is presenting masculine. He's presenting with a hat, a cigar, and just the general demeanor of a dad. Ayn Rand, something else. Ayn Rand has this sort of like androgynous look to him. Pretty between things, not kind of masculine, not super feminine, but she's a she, so we call her she, even though her politics are bad. But the thing about gender, right, and the thing about societal expectation is that there has to be some sort of society to enforce those things. Society, we all participate in it. We all make memes about society. We all interact with each other on the internet, which is a product of society. We all communicate with each other. We all have to play with MS Paint because Microsoft made this for our society. It's all connected. It's all modernity and fucking now, right? I am off my fucking rocker right now. But something else these two have in common is the expectation for success. The expectation for winning. That this can't just be a game for enjoyment, for pleasure, for whatever. This has to be some sort of task that can be completed and that you can be victorious at. Same here. The presumption of dad is that Sisyphus is going to get this to the top of the hill and that it's not going to fall. His hard work is going to push him all the way to the top of the mountain. And that rock is going to stay there. When Sisyphus' struggles are ongoing, they are not solvable by simply checking a box. This is a custom-made hellscape. But let's step back for a sec, because I just want to chat. I just want to chat about the dad. Few questions. Why is he wearing a hat? No one wears hats inside. Is it raining inside? No. Is it bright inside? No. But you're not wearing a hat inside unless you just got back from work. Okay? We're thinking now. We're thinking with capitalism. He just got back from work where he makes enough money to spend on luxury items like a VR set, like cigars in the middle of the day. He's not even, here's the thing about cigars, right? When you smoke cigars, that's supposed to be like a treat. That's, oh, I'm gonna go out into the porch, I'm gonna lay back, cut my little cigar, smoke that cigar, and just take some time for yourself. This man just walking around the house with them. Just walking around the house. This man probably smokes a cigar a week. Why not? He's got the money. Some white collar job, right? He's upper middle class. That's why he can afford to pay for the VR system for his son. Bought him that fleshlight too. Got him this hentai game, which the first interactable VR hentai game came out in 2014, which is when this meme was created. Do you see yet? Is he the benefactor of Obama-era economic recovery acts in the wake of 2008's housing market crash? But more importantly, perhaps, then, was he the benefactor of 2,000? What is he holding? I'm gonna zoom it in for you. What is this? What is he holding in your mind? Immediately, what do you think of? What do you think this is? A piece of cake? Some dinner? Because he hasn't come down yet. Some dinner, perhaps? An ashtray. Think of that, an ashtray, huh? For his cigar. Otherwise, he's just dropping just disgusting smoky particles, smoky ash particles all over the house. Why would he do that? Or door handle. Door handle. Door handle. Because he's got to open the door, right? The door is definitely closed. If he's beating his meat in the fleshlight, if Sisyphus is rolling his boulder up the hill, he closed the door. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. He closed the fucking door. So he had to open it. That's a doorknob. That's a fucking doorknob. You can't change my mind. Because he opens it like this. Here, I ran a demonstration. Boom. I took this in September. I've been thinking about this. Finally, the core of these memes, of this meme, is the gap that separates father and son. Generations, wealth, time, opportunity. They don't understand each other. Part of the weight of this boulder is this dad coming in asking if you were winning. Not having someone in your life, someone so intrinsically close to you, understand even the most fundamental aspects of your life. Having a parent that just doesn't get it, that just doesn't get why you're suffering, why you're hurting, why you're in pain. Am I getting too personal right now? You're fine. You're fine. Hey, it's okay. It's okay, you're fine. You're good. It's all good. It's just a video. It's okay. You're good. All right. Wrapping it up. You're good. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Smoking kills.